Hey up guys, welcome to An Idiot Mod Skyrim Part 3, Selene Kate and her Diva-like Prerequisites. As you've probably guessed, I'm going to be installing Selene Kate back into my game. She's been with me since Part 1 and has become quite an essential companion. So to find her, we'll go along to the Nexus. As usual guys, all links will be down below. The page is Companion Selene Kate Kiss Me by Casperts and Hello Santa. This mod adds a female companion, Selene Kate, to your Skyrim game. Thanks to the wonderful character customizing by Hello Santa, Selene's appearance could be similar to Selene on the movie Underworld. A little bit, yeah, she does look a bit like Kate Beckinsale's part. She specialised in one-handed weapon and shield, and has various functions to help you with enjoyable Skyrim adventures as follows. And she has some animations from TK Combat. She also has imbued weapons and mass force spells. Those are the three biggies that I do not actually use in my playthrough. I will be showing you them later on in this when we actually boot up the game and have a quick run through, but they're not something I use in my playthrough as such. I use her as a Lydia replacer really, sort of a mobile tank. I also turn off the face light, but I will be doing a full version of how she works later on. Her current voice is female young Eager of the vanilla Skyrim. However, a very talented voice actress has joined to make a custom voice for Selene. You'll see it soon. Unfortunately, this mod was uploaded 2 years ago and I think this has fallen through. So we'll go down here and we'll go to what I mean by prerequisites. A lot of mods that you're going to be installing will have prerequisites of mods that they rely on to work properly. And Kate is a prime example. You are required to install the following first for Selene to work correctly. Please verify the SKSE is correct version compatible with your Skyrim version. So you need Skyrim version 1.9.32.0.8 or higher. Well, hopefully, like me, you're using the latest version from Steam, so we should be okay there. SKSE version 1.06, well, we're using 1.07, so that's fine. The SkyUI we haven't downloaded yet, so I'm going to middle mouse that to open that in a new tab. Hopefully it should be version 4.1 or higher. And Finis, which I believe is 4's New Idols in Skyrim. We haven't got that either, so we need to middle mouse that to open in a new tab. It also recommends another couple of mods, the female facial animation by Neo4288 for better facial animations of the player's female character, and Ultimate Assortment by Favoured Soul for nice female jewellery. I'm guessing that means, is it Evenstar from Lord of the Rings that she's wearing here? Once again, two things that are not really that important in my playthrough at the moment. Quick read through the installing usage, and it says please follow the steps below. Install using Nexus Mod Manager or Mod Organizer. We're going to do Selene's body type is TBBP, which means that she has a TBP skeleton inside this mod that will be installed. There is a full mod of TDDP, I do believe. Not something I use myself, but there is a fix that we have to use called the skeleton arm fix, which if it says here, it says the arm of Selene is a little bit straight when she has a torch at night, and this fixes it, I believe. There are also instructions how to add dance music to your game. Now, Kate, thanks to Finis, can dance along to these musical tracks. It's not a feature I'm going to use in my game. However, if you do want to use it, there are instructions on how to do it here, and some more actually in her readme when you install her, and I will make sure that I point those out to you as we go along. Frequently asked questions. So where is she? She's in the Riverwood Hotel, so the Sleeping Giant Inn. If you haven't used it before, then you should be okay. You don't need to clean save. There are a few other bits and pieces that may be important to you at a later date, so as I've said before, don't be afraid to come back to these pages and have a good read through. So let's go along and get the files downloaded. Now, in the main files there are three choices. As you may know, there are several replacers for the female and male bodies, the most popular of which I believe are CBBE, Dreamgirl and UMP. I've just used this one because I have used CBBE in a playthrough before, so I want to download with Manager. And someone remind me I need to remove the version of Mod Organizer I have on my C drive, because every time I try and download something I'm getting a user account control. Let it through. Let's have a look in the optional files. 7 base bombshell for CBP, I don't want that. Don't need that. Option one-handed weapon shield spells. Yes, we want that one. And there is also a animation that will change all female idle motions to TBBP. Once again, this is something I don't really want in my game. TBBP, bouncing body parts, is basically what this BBP means. If that's the kind of thing that you want in your game, then go ahead and download it and install it the same way that we're going to do with this optional animation pack here. I don't want it, but if you do, that's your choice. These miscellaneous ones are Serana Kate. Serana's appearance will be replaced with Kate. Obviously I don't need 2 in my game, so I'll leave that off as well. Now let's go and look at these files that we need to make her work properly. So the first one is the Sky user interface by the SkyUI team. There is very little information about installing this one really. It's one of those, all you need to have for definite is SKSE, which if you've seen my last video you should have by now, so we're alright on that front. So I can just go straight to the files and download the latest version, which is 5.1. We required 4.1 or higher, so we're fine with this one. So download with manager. It's asking if we have SKSE, which we do, so continue with my download. And the final one we need to make Kate fully functional is Forge New Idols in Skyrim, or Finis by 4. As you can see, this was Nexus File of the Month back in May 2015, so nearly a year ago. If you read the first line of the description, it says no custom animation possible for Skyrim. Wrong. Finis Behaviours allows other mods to add different types of animation to the game. Idols and poses, sequenced arm offsets, furniture and paired animations, kill moves, creature animations, and the demonstration of Finis spells. The user has a means to display almost all animation files, dance animations included. You will have to generate the finisforusers.exe, and I'll show you how to do that. I need to check because I've been using the older version of this. The latest version is 6.2 and it has been updated since the last time I used it. So I need to have a look down and see if it says anything about installing the newer version. Whether I have to do a clean save or I have to do several other things. I'm not seeing anything at the moment. I will draw your attention to the installation short version where it says here you have to generate finisforusers.exe. I cannot emphasize how important that is to make this mod work. If you don't, a lot of people will walk around standing like a T, which is most unnerving when they just float along with their mouth and head fully animated and their body doing absolutely nothing. As you see, there's a list here of mods that use Finis. A few. The flying mod is rather good, what I've seen of it. And there is also a adult version, and you will notice that companion Selene Kate is listed as adult. That is more to do with the way you change her outfit. I will not be doing that in this video. If anyone wants help with this one and doesn't understand how it works, drop a line down below and I'll see about doing a video for it. It's not something I want to do in this one right now. I know I'm playing a game where people get beheaded and there's blood and guts everywhere, but I'm not a big fan of full nudity, just for the sake of it. Then it goes on to say about usage and Finis spells and the patches. There are 2 patches that come with this game. There are the skeleton arm fix and the gender specific animations. Those come with it and those are freebies to install, and I will be doing that anyway, but I will not be downloading any of the other stuff at this moment. There are nothing saying anything about not being able to update straight to this from an older version, so we should be okay. So let's go and get those files downloaded and have a look about installing them. On the files page, we obviously want to download the main file, so download with manager. UAC controls go away. We also want to add the Finis behaviour add-on because we need the TK combat part of it. So download that with manager as well. We don't know if the generator is going to fail to start, so at the moment we're going to leave that one alone because you only need that if it doesn't work. I'm not currently using the Finis creature pack, so we can leave that one off as well, but I'll be showing you the Finis spells, so we'll download that as well. So we can now go along to Mod Organizer and get these installed. As you can see, nothing's changed. I haven't updated anything or done anything like that. We can install these mods in any order we choose. It doesn't matter in which order they are enabled, it's the order that they are loaded afterwards. So we're going to do a little bit of tidying up along as we go along. But let's start with Selene. She's the largest file. Double click to install. No game data on the top level. Here's your data folder. Click to highlight. Right click. Set as data directory. Now looks good. All the meshes and everything else are in the right place. Click OK. This will take a few seconds. And she's installed. Just going to have a quick look inside the mod, so double click. The music installation is here. Under the text files, music, Kate track, readme text files. Those are the instructions for installing the music if you want to use those. I want to have a look at her file tree. As you can see, we have one Kate BSA and an ESP, so the BSA file that holds all the information and the ESP that plugs her in. And the optional files that are none at present. This will change in a second when we install the optional Kate animation one-handed weapons. So double click that. As you can see, the name is the same, so we click manual. Once again, no data on top level, data folder. Click to highlight, right click, set as data directory. We now have a Kate animation BSA and a Kate animation ESP. Looks good. Click OK, and we're going to merge it into her original file. Now if we go into the file tree, you'll notice we have the BSA and the ESP and the Kate BSA and the ESP. If we go to the optionals, we can change whether or not we add the animation pack or not at this point. I'm going to move it up. This is the way I'll normally be playing it. I won't be using her animation pack and one-handed shield. I think it's slightly overpowered for the character the way I want her to play. But as we're going to be doing a demonstration at the end of here, I'm going to move this back down. Remember that anything we do here will affect any and all profiles we have. I know we haven't done that yet, that's coming in a future episode. I'm going to do one on housekeeping soon, and things like profiles will come into that one. I can now enable her. She's installed. The next is we're going to install SkyUI. Your download may be in a slightly different order to mine. It didn't download first time when I clicked it. Not a problem. Double click to install. You'll see it's running an external installer. This did used to say that SKSE was not installed. Obviously that's been fixed now, so I can now enable that. I'm going to move this further up the load order. As I may have said before, load order starts up here and then runs down to the bottom. So whatever's at the bottom is the last thing loaded. Selene Kate is dependent on SkyUI. So SkyUI needs to come before her. I'm going to push it right up to just below SKSE. Because SkyUI needs SKSE, SKSE needs the whole game. You get the idea? And that's it. SkyUI is installed. Next thing we need is the finished behaviours that makes Kate work as the mod author intended. So double click. Once again, no game data on the top level. Click to open it with the little arrow. We have a data folder there. Left click to highlight. Right click. Set as data directory. It now looks good. We can click OK and install. And then we're going to add the add-on to this. So double click. Once again, no game data on the top level. There's your data folder. Left click to highlight. Right click. Left click set as data directory. It still says no game data on the top level. Slightly confusing. If I click OK to install it now, we get a warning saying this mod was probably not set up correctly. Most likely it will not work. You should first correct the directory layout using the content tree. So I click cancel and let's have a look at the contents tree. Let's see what's in here. So tools, generate finished for users. We have a language file and a templates file. Let's have a look what's in there. That's a Japanese text file, fine. And some templates, one-handed behavior, default female template, default male template, and magic behavior template. Right. So let's have a look. Let's just close this for the time being. and go have a look at the file tree inside the finished behaviours we have installed. We'll click, go along to the file tree, have a look in tools, because they were in tools, wasn't it? Finished for users, languages. There was a file for languages, and I cannot see a Japanese file in here. So if we install that and there's a Japanese file in there, we know it's worked. Let's have a look in templates. We have a one-handed behaviour template, and that was created on the 26th of the 11th 2015. We have default female, that was also in November 2015, as was the male. And we have is a magic behaviour that was done on the 20, also all in November 2015. Right, so if we have an idea of when things happened, because we're going to be replacing these files, they may go updated in date. So I'm going to click close, and we're going to reinstall this one. So double click on the behaviour add-on, check that and make it your data directory. Click OK. I'm going to ignore this warning. Not something I recommend, but for the time being we can ignore that. And we're going to merge this. Let's go look at the file tree again and see if it made any changes. Into tools, for users, languages. Well, we now have a Japanese file, so we know that's installed. Not that I need it, but now it's there. So close down languages and have a look in templates. Now there was a behaviour template, and that's been updated because they're all 2015 if I remember correctly, so that's 2016, so that's new. We have the default male. Once again, these were all done in November 2015, they're now March 2016. And the magic behaviour template, well, there was 10 days between these two if I remember correctly. So obviously they have been installed. So if you get that kind of warning, have a look at the original files that this one is supposed to overwrite, make notes about them, and then try and install them like we did then, and then check and make sure they've been overwritten. If it hasn't been overwritten and you want to reinstall a mod, you can either do it from the mod itself by right clicking on it and going down to reinstall mod, or you can double click on your download and reinstall it. So double click on the download, down, across the data, right click, then set as data directory, clicks OK. You'll notice it says this mod is installed already. We can just, if we wanted to, replace it. We don't need to, but this is how you replace a mod if you have to. You just double click on the download and replace it. And now finally we have the finished spells. So I'm going to double click this one. Once again we need to set the data directory. On data, click to highlight, right click, set as data directory. Now it looks good, click OK. We have the mod exists warning. We could merge it with this one, however, because it's unlikely I will be using the finished spells in my playthrough, I want to be able to turn it off and on as I choose, rather than having to go into the file tree. So I'm going to rename this one. As you can see, it says Forge New Idols in Skyrim, Finis. All I'm going to do is add the word spells to the end. And click OK. We now have Finis and Finis spells. I'll just enable them. And then I need to move them. Once again, these need to be above Kate, so I can just grab Kate and drag her down to below them. And this should now be A-OK. Everything should load in the correct order. I'm going to go to the plugins and make sure they're in the correct order as well. So I can move Kate down to the bottom, move SkyUI right up to the top, just below the high-res stuff, so it's in approximately the correct place. Also move Kate's animation down. Yeah. Don't worry about these brushes for the time being. We'll get into those when I do the housekeeping episode. These files don't really need to be loaded, but for the time being they will not do any harm by being there. There's one thing we need to do before we can actually run the game, and that's to generate the FNIS for users. And we need to right, so we have our Right, so we have those mods downloaded, enabled, and in more or less the correct order. What we need to do now is generate the... What we need to do now is find and run the generate finish for users .exe, and to do that we need to go into this data and right down to the bottom into tools, little arrow to open it. We want generate finish for users, so that little arrow as well, and it's here. You can see there is generate finish for US, and then it would say users, but the window isn't big enough, so click to highlight it, then right click and add as an executable. We want to click on that, and we want to call it, well, let's just call it Finesse, and then click OK. Now when we go up to the combi box, you'll see we have Finesse in here. I want to do a quick little bit of housekeeping before we go any further. Go into Edit, click Finesse. Doesn't have the close MO when started, so we don't have to modify that. We can just close that off, and we'll put Finesse in the combo box. And because we're going to be running this from time to time, I'm going to put this as a shortcut up into this toolbar. So I'm going to click on the shortcut here and click toolbar, and that's now put the Finesse up in our toolbar. Means we can now change this back to SKSE again. I'm going to click on our little shortcut and Finesse will run. A new window, generate Finesse for users opens. Generate Finesse for users for version 6.2. Call this tool after installing Finesse or any mods that uses Finesse. After deinstallation of any mod that uses Finesse, important or show character will freeze. And yes, they will freeze into the T formation. Basically they become a capital T. They walk around with their arms open. Most disturbing when you see them walking around and their mouth still moves. Believe me, it's something you don't want to see. So we're going to run Finesse in a second. I just want to do a couple of bits down here. The gender specific animations, we don't have to install a patch for it. As you see, it's not asterisked, so we can have that. And the skeleton arm fix, that basically means that anyone that uses the Finesse behaviours will walk around with a bent arm rather than a straight arm. It's just a silly little fix, but it needed to be done, I believe. We don't have any of these other ones that are asterisked, so I can just run update Finesse behaviours. Only takes a few seconds. Kate has been taken in, as have the Finesse spells, so they've all been generated. 491 animations, 3 mods successfully included. I'm going to click the consistency check just to make sure we don't have any clashes with mods that are already in. That's fine. We can now click exit. You will get this when you first run it, the create a shortcut on your desktop. We don't need to, we've generated one up here. And as you'll notice, it says cancel, no, and don't ask me again. So we can click cancel and it won't ask us again if we want that shortcut making. We now have a warning. Click this and we have there are files in your overwrite mod, and there are no guided fixes for this, so close that. What it means is there are files in this mod here that's called overwrite. We can leave them here for the time being if we wanted. Not advisable really, because basically if we have different profiles, any profiles, even if they don't use Finesse, would have these files incorporated into the load and may cause a crash or may cause the T formation animation to happen again. So let's have a look at these files anyway. Double click on it. You see there are tools for Finesse, there are scripts for Finesse, and there are meshes also for Finesse. Now we want all these to be actually in our game load order, and if you read the description it says that you want to have a mod made from these and have it in the lowest in your load order. So we're just going to click close for the time being, and then we're going to right click on the overwrite. I'm going to create a mod. So click create mod, and we're going to call this, well, it's obviously Finesse, and it's for the spells and for Selene Kate and Finesse itself. So we can have Finesse plus spells plus Kate, and then we're going to call it a patch, because basically it's a patch of the animations that we need for these three. Okay, I'm going to click OK, and we have a Finis spells plus patch, so we can now enable this. And as it's lowest in the load order, it will take in the fact that Finis and everything else is enabled and the Selene Kate's there, and then we'll activate the animations that we need to go on the end. So now all that's in place, let's go in game and see if it's worked. Right, so we have Companion Selene Kate loaded, MCM registered one new menu, MCM registered one new menu. So to find our MCM menus, press the pause button or escape, go to mod configuration, and you'll see we have two items in here. We have the SkyUI itself and Companion Selene. Going to the SkyUI, these are the mod makers. Go into general, and here you can change several things. You can change the font size, quantity, menu, minimum count. That is, you know, when you have items and you have more than 6 of them, and it says how many do you want to drop. Whereas if you've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you just drop them individually. You can change where that kicks in. At the moment, and by default, it's 6, as is the vanilla game. You could have it at 10 or 5 or whatever you want, or at 0 to totally disable it. Here you can change the icons along the top of your inventory or magic lists. I won't do anything, guys. I'd rather you experiment with this and change it as to how you want to do it yourself. Controls are a quick list of how they actually work, and advanced settings so you can change where things are. Just have a play about until you get happy with it. To go back to your normal menu, press tab. Selene Kate, if we go in there, game settings, key Selene's soul. Basically this opens a menu. Once Selene is your companion, if you press F2 you get a list of actions that she can do, one of which is teleport, and there are other ones in there as well. You can also change her game difficulty, how she fights, whether she will actually go into stealth when you do and therefore will attack people, whether she can be killed. Basically you can change her to how you want. The common spells, I normally disable these. I just want her as a normal companion. Same with the one-handed spells. Under miscellaneous you can change her hairstyle and her eye colours. Recover face, if it becomes abnormal, you click this and it should restore it. If that doesn't work, normally a reboot should clear it up. And you also have where she is. So by default she's at the Sleeping Giant Inn down in Riverwood, and if you click this you will go to exactly where she is. Now I need to have a quick look and see if the SkyUI is working properly anyway. So go across to Magic, you'll now see that we have improved user interface, and we have this filter up here. We press spacebar and let's have a look. Let's type in FNIS. You'll see we have FNIS spells, 2 of which are already enabled. One's on my left hand, which is a selection of the idols, and the right hand is the one that will aim it at non-player characters. I could change it so it's going to affect the player rather than NPCs. We'll do that when we get to Riverwood. We'll have a play with some people down there. The inventory works the same, so you can use the filter by pressing spacebar and typing in where you want to find something in your inventory. If you have it on the sack, so you have your whole inventory, it will go through your whole inventory. If you have it assigned to weapons, it will only search through weapons. Same with armour, it will only search through armour. So if you want to search through your whole inventory, go to the full inventory and then type in some things. So if I type in something like wolf, I'll instantly find where my wolf pelts are. Another thing that SkyUI does is it improves the way the map works. And you'll now see we have an F for find location. We click F, press space to open the search menu up, and then let's type in river. Well, we already have Riverwood, look. So just click anywhere where it's blank and then scroll up to where you want to go, so to Riverwood, and it highlights where it is. You could just click on Riverwood and it will open the fast travel options, and I will see you down at Riverwood. That reminds me, at some point in the very near future we need to install a water mod, because I mean it's not hideous, but once you've had a water mod installed it just isn't the same. Right, so here we are in Riverwood, and let's have a quick mess about with some of the inhabitants here using Finis, and hopefully the dragon will ignore us. So the first thing I'm going to do is obviously bring my weapons out. So my left hand gives me the option to pick which animation I want to use. As you can see, there are C1s. All these will contain approximately 9 animations. And these ones on the end are partnered animations, so if I click that and then go partnered 8 and then cast it on him, you'll see it goes into a combat. Those are paired animations. If I use a singular animation, so return, that's going to the mid seas. There you go. And now he starts to dance the night away. And that will work on absolutely any and all people that you hit. Have to hit them first, obviously. We're all in the dancing mood. And you can do it on yourself. Go across to magic, scroll down to finesse, and we're going to change the right hand to player idols. So I now cast it on myself, we're going to third person, and I instantly start dancing. Unlike the poor non-player characters, I can instantly cancel this by hitting jump, and it cancels it for me. Now these people who you have hit will continue to do whatever you have told them to do until you hit them with another spell which will cancel it out. So if I change the one I had to C21, I cast it on Lydia here, she stops and goes back to her normal routine, or she instantly goes into the new animation. And I have found that this can be a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes it stops them doing the animation, and other times it starts them doing the one you hit them with. That walk does not go with that outfit, mate. So you get the general idea how finesse works. I will leave the rest up to you guys to do with as you see fit. There are some rather humorous ones.
Riverwood's agreeable enough, I suppose, for a Nord village.
There's
beauty here, unmatched in all of Skyrim, to be sure.
Okay, just dance. Off you go. Right, I've had my fun with these guys. Let's go and see if Kate's around. So she should be in here somewhere. Ah, there she is. Hey, Kate. Lydia, will you stop getting centre of attention? Hi, Selene.
I'm saving myself for someone special. Someone who loves me dearly.
Okay, can you follow me? I need your help.
I prayed to Mara and she spoke to me in a dream. She said a stranger would appear to help me.
Right, so you're added to my list. I can use Selene's soul hotkey now. What I'm going to do is show you how that works. Selene?
Have you tried the wine?
Please wait here.
Okay, now don't move at all.
Well, I will. You don't. Lydia. Can I not talk to you yet? Lydia.
Still here.
Wait here.
You go on ahead.
I will. Because walking like that, I don't think you really need to be fighting at the moment. So I'm going to find a nice clear space. Then I'll summon Kate and we'll summon some bad guys. If that's alright with you? I think I've got a space in mind. Right, so we have a nice quiet area now. Let's summon Kate, so I'm going to press F2. And I get general action or special action, so it's a special action I want to do. And I want to teleport. There you go, she beams in. I'm now going to console some bad guys in, and I'll try and keep center camera on Kate as much as possible. She's instantly casted Ebony Flesh. And you'll see she's knocking people flying. And she's healing me whenever I drop below 60%. That is a rather powerful attack if you ask me. That's a bit overpowered, but yeah, it's fun. The Whiterun guards are helping out, so we better help the Whiterun guards out. Once again, she's casting Ebony Flesh on us, so we're a little bit tougher to kill. healing me as and when I need it. You don't become invulnerable totally.
Enjoy your last breath.
Right, so I've got a bit of help there. But as you see, I think she's a rather powerful character and a good one to have. I think I've taken up enough of your time, guys. If this has been helpful, give me a like, write a comment, maybe even subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.